Continuing with the twill weaves, we look at swatch number 37, which, because it's 100% wool, we know is made from a spun yarn. This one is also an even-sided twill, and we'll look at that in a moment. It is fiber dyed, and we'll also take a look and see how we know that. There is no finish. It has a matte luster because of the wool. The excellent thermal retention is also more because of the wool than of the weave structure. This is typically used for uniforms, for state police, for example, and specifically in the pants. So if we look at the serge swatch here, we can see that the even-sided twill means that we see the diagonal wales on both sides. This side here, it's going up and to the right, and on this side here, it's going up and to the left. Your swatch is a slightly different color than mine, but we can see another feature of the wool. It has pretty good resiliency. A design characteristic of twills can be seen in this camel hair herringbone, which is again also an even-sided twill. And then we couldn't see in the serge that it was fiber dyed, but I'm hoping in this herringbone we will be able to see that. This is an example of the wool finish of fulling, which I've talked about. This one also has high thermal retention, and our kit notes that it has pore tenacity. This would be the camel hair. It's used for suits and outerwear. So I don't know that I specifically agree that it's pore tenacity. I think it's maybe less good tenacity than some other things. So you can see that we can see the herringbone on both sides. That's what makes it even-sided. We can't really see the same distinctive wales, but that's in part because they're being blended in with the pattern. We can see that, of course, the yarns are different colors. Some of the yarns are solid, but this sort of darker blue yarn in here does have kind of variations in shades, which is likely why this is an example of a fiber dyed fabric. It has a very close, dense texture, and that would be a characteristic of the fulling. Besides herringbone, houndstooth is another example of a design that can be made using the twill weave. Here again we see an even-sided twill. And we really won't see non-even-sided until we get to things like denim. This one is also fiber dyed. It was also fulled. It also has high thermal retention and pore tenacity. Again, I wouldn't say necessarily pore, but compared to everything else, I guess it is poorer, used for suits and outerwear. So between the camel, which you saw had a really nice soft hand, and the wool, they're fairly similar. This one is a bit stiffer, and we can see the design on both sides of this even-sided twill weave, with the wales going up and to the right in that direction and up and to the left when we flip it over. And this sort of houndstooth shape, I don't know if you can kind of see, like in that little white there, does it kind of look like a tooth, like a row of teeth in the mouth of a dog? I suppose so. This is basically what happens when you do a gingham pattern, only in the twill weave. So it's kind of interesting to relate the different traditional heritage weave patterns.